And welcome on back, everyone, after a very long hiatus to Streaming with the Mouse. Uh, a lot of change ups, a lot of shake ups, even a new logo, as you can see if you're listening on just a regular Spotify account or Apple, whatever you choose to listen on. My name is Clifton Paul Robinson. I'll be joined today by Megan Brown, who's going to be the interim co host for indefinitely for at the moment, as Cam prepares for fatherhood. Today, we're going to be breaking down the entire show of She-Hulk. You did get a little bit, but we're going to go back to all of it. So get ready, and you're finally listening to Streaming with the Mouse. And welcome on back, everyone, to Streaming with the Mouse. Again, it has been a long time, not a galaxy far, far away, but I am joined by my co-host, my interim co-host, Megan Brown. Megan, how are you doing? It's been a while for you, too. I think it's been since, what was it?
Bad Batch?
Bad Batch. That's exactly what it
Bad
was.
Batch. Yeah, wow, life has changed a lot since then, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. The only
Yeah.
difference is, the only similar thing is you still don't have a microphone.
Yeah, I still don't have a microphone.
Yet.
That is correct.
Yet.
Yes,
Is the key
I'll
word.
eventually get one. I mean, as interim host, though, I don't know. That's an investment. So
It is, but we shall see. But if you're listening after so long, very sorry for the long 2-month break. We are back. We are ready to talk. Oddly enough, not a ton has happened Disney Plus wise. There's a lot of news, and there were 2 big shows and one special. Is that what we're going to call Werewolf by Night?
Yeah, probably.
So since our 2-month vacation, the rest of She-Hulk released from episodes. So 5 episodes of She-Hulk have released, and almost the entire show of Andor. Beautifully done. Next week or in 2 weeks, I think next week you're going to have the treat of Disenchanted, and the week after that, first week, and whenever Andor ends
next Wednesday.
So after next Wednesday, so in 2 weeks from when you're listening to this, you will have an Andor series review. And it might take more than one episode. We shall see. There's a lot of things going on. First thing, new logo. Decided for a change. There's still the Mickey Mouse hat. And there is a inconspicuous castle-looking thing behind it that won't let us get sued. You can't tell what it is.
Hint, no.
Nudge, nudge. And other than that, the only news, there is a lot of news. We could talk for days about Percy Jackson, about everything that's been released. I know. Not yet.
Wait. Oh my God, I just realized that I will now be around, and I'm going to force you that
you will.
I'm not in from co-host.
You will.
That is my stuff.
We still have a while. We still have a while until Percy Jackson, but we have a lot of news, and we'll probably end up doing, probably in the new year, an episode of all that news. News for today, we're not going to go with anything like brand spanking new, but releasing today, we're recording this on Friday, November 18th, Disenchanted, the long-awaited sequel to Enchanted. I loved that movie. So good. So clever.
It's such a good movie. It's my cousin hasn't seen it, and I'm forcing her to watch it over Thanksgiving. Very excited.
The Santa Claus is the new TV show based off of the Santa Claus. Season 1, episodes 1 and 2 released today on Disney Plus. I love the Santa Claus. That's one of my favorite Christmas movies.
It's a good one, but it released on Wednesday.
Oh, it released on Wednesday. I think I'm a few days behind on. No, this is 9 hours ago. Oh, this is what's new this week.
Okay.
The first season of Limitless with Chris Hemsworth is dropped. There's also very sad news about him taking a step back from acting today due to health reasons. I know, it's very sad.
Wait, no,
I did not see it.
What?
Oh my God! Am I just gonna announce this on? I mean, it's public news. Where to go? Where did the tweet go? As it loads. Yes, Chris Hemsworth from Discussion Films from Vanity Fair. Chris Hemsworth will be taking a break from acting after learning he has a genetic predisposition to Alzheimer's. His makeup includes 2 copies of the gene APOE4, which studies have linked to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. I know. I read that and I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I thought it was the parody account. And then I actually saw it was real and I'm like, that's horrible. I know.
genetic predisposition doesn't mean necessarily he will get it,
I know. I just
but
said he's stepping away for health related
that's
reasons. So
wow.
I know.
Damn.
Andor episode 11 dropped this past Wednesday. Last season finale upcoming Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Anything else important? A lot of animated Mickey stuff. We don't cover that.
Well, I mean, this is a Streaming with the Mouse podcast, so like
It
you can
is.
mention it.
It is. That is true. That is. We could mention it. We just did.
We
But we're
did.
going to get into it. We covered me and Cam covered the first 4 episodes of She-Hulk. We are going to just cover the entire show as a whole because I feel that personally is the best way to do it, especially with how the show felt. It was a good one by one, but as a whole, I think it'll help the show as a single one. So we're going to do our normal go 5 through 1. Probably going to do more for Andor because there's a lot more to talk about. But
Please.
starting at number 5, Megan, your fifth favorite thing. Actually, it doesn't even have to be in order. What your
Oh
first
no,
favorite thing?
I have it. I have it in order, and then I have 5 honorable mentions.
5 honor. Okay, you're already beating Cam on honorable mentions in this. You're going for the record.
This is, but I just loved She-Hulk, and I think it really like touched on a lot of things in really fun ways that I'm like excited to talk about. But I think one of my favorite was the familiar family relationship between Bruce and Jen. I think that was so well done, and then just seeing like their families and how Jen like connected with her family, like all of that. I just really loved that in that episode. Where I'm sorry, Sirius is in the sink right now.
Oh, good.
Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry.
As the cat's in the sink. That's a new one. That is a new one. I don't think we've ever had a cat in the sink.
My cat's a weirdo. But I really just liked, and like that fight they had, that Bruce and Jen had, it really felt like family, like siblings specifically, even though they're not siblings, they're cousins. Like it felt like you get angry, you get all those things, and then it's just like, I love you, like that. So I loved that.
Yes, that is a good one, and I don't think I'm going to touch Bruce in this top 5. Maybe in an honorable mention because I feel like I have to come up with some honorable mentions if you're coming up with some. My number 5 is the how would I even say this? The capitalismization of superheroes within the MCU. More specifically, the show did an excellent job taking a shot at Marvel fans. Good or bad, they took an excellent shot at good and bad Marvel fans. More punch in the face for the bad Marvel fans because it was they didn't even give them they couldn't even complain about anything because they just fed right into it. But there was a very important thing that I think gets overlooked, and now looking back, it's very obvious. And Miss Marvel did it too, and Thor Love and Thunder, making fun of the obsessive Marvel fans, and we're them. Let's be honest. But there are people that take it to the next level and need the costumes. Like, of course, they would hire someone to do this, all the shirts, all this, all the social media. And it was a really good commentary on all that. And I think it's funny because right at the beginning, right through all 9 episodes, there was a very obvious hate towards the trolls, which is great. I hate internet trolls. And they took it so hard. But looking back, there was a lot of shots at the over obsessed Marvel fans as well, which I'm just kind of realizing as I like look back at it, which to me is even funnier. Because it's easy to piss off a troll. That's not hard. But like getting like subtle shots into at the over excited fans is also really funny and makes me appreciate the show a little bit more looking back on it.
Yeah, I agree. That kind of touches into something I have later, so I'm not gonna like say too much about it.
I think same, but
yeah. Okay, so next
you're 4.
My 4 is Kevin and the Disney Plus fourth wall break. That was hysterical. I was watching it with my best friend Lindsay, and we were sitting on her couch watching it, and we exited out of the show. And we were like, what is happening? And tried to find the remote, and then like it just kept going. And then like the Kevin being a robot, like everyone being protective of Kevin, like I'll kill you for Kevin. Like it was so funny, and I just really loved that. And then I'm sorry, Siri's just now playing with the Christmas nativity scene. Give me one
We're just doing a
second.
great job. The cat is truly stealing the show today.
I'm so
Um,
excited.
it's even
Yeah, I'm
funnier though because you have your AirPods, and so you could technically be talking from while you deal with the cat.
well, I
Um,
mean, you're also recording, so people
I
are gonna be like,
am.
"Where is she going?"
That's true. That is true.
She just keeps disappearing. Um, but I love that the robot Kevin like had the baseball hat kind of
That
thing
to
on,
me
like
was
he
the
had a
funniest. That to me
so
was the best part.
and I mean that whole scene inspired my Halloween costume. I was Jen Walters without the special effects budget for my office Halloween costume, so I just really loved that scene. It was great.
Yes, it was great, and I am actually going to take the fourth wall break on it as well because it really is just funny. And I think there's an important kind of discussion with it, with fourth wall breaks. I'm not going to get into the sexism of it, but it was like it's fine when Deadpool does it. It's not fine when She-Hulk does it. Um, guess who did it first in the comics?
She-Hulk.
But what I find even funnier about it is just kind of like the play on it because if we talk about what the issue with Marvel currently is, it is probably underpaying their third party providers of CGI. There's a lot of things that shouldn't be ignored because those people deserve to be paid fair wages and not be decimated in piles of work. But they did comment on the lack of CGI in Marvel, and I think they're understanding that they're becoming more of a machine. But what I found even funnier from this is the writers' room. Those are the actual writers of
I
She-Hulk.
know.
Those are the actual writers in their room in that scene. Comical,
It's
absolutely
so
comical.
good. I I
It's
think
just a
about the line.
fun. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I think about the line. I will kill for Kevin or like whatever that line is. Probably like once a week. That's also because Lindsay's boss's name is Kevin, so I just kind of quote that to her
There you
sometimes.
go.
But it was so funny, so funny.
Yes, and I like. I think it's just funny the jokes they made. The only thing I wish is that Kevin actually voiced him. That is the one thing I think was a missed opportunity. But kind of they played a lot on themselves. They made fun of themselves a lot, which is
Oh,
fine. And I think the thing with She-Hulk is it was an entertaining show overall.
mm,
I don't think it was consistent. It was like a constant funny, but it had the sitcom delivery that it needed to have,
yeah.
which to me that was important. Could have done with more law stuff, more actual law room comedy, but I digress. For your number three.
My number three is something that you and Cam talked about in the first few podcasts you did. I forget which one, but the anger monologue in the first
Mm.
episode, when Jen is talking about, I know how to control my anger. Like I'm always angry when, and like just goes on that. I think that was such a point in the show and in like the MCU where I was just like, yes, like that is saying everything most people who identify as women feel, right? I think about coming from working in like a male dominated office right before the office I'm working in now, like the difference there, the having to control my anger, the side comments, like things like that you just have to brush off. Like it, you don't really think about it until you have to. Even as somebody who identifies as a woman and is living in this constantly, like until I watched that, I was like, you know, yeah, right. So I thought that was so amazing. And what made it even better is all the men who were like, "This isn't real," and I'm just like, okay, like I was like, yeah, you're the problem.
I think it's even funnier the men that were like, "Now I understand. It shouldn't have taken a Marvel show for you to understand,
that
sir. It
and
shouldn't have."
it was greatly written. It was beautiful, but like that's what did it for you, my dude.
Seriously,
What are you doing?
seriously, phase is this 4 or 5? Where are we now? Does it even?
We
Do we
are
even
three.
know? We're in 3. This
Yeah,
is
did you lose
no,
count?
this is phase MCU
Oh, Phase.
phase.
We just finished Phase 4.
We
Black
just
Panther
finished phase
finished
four.
Phase 4.
Phase four was like
Black
the
Panther.
phase of like one-liners. What is love? I don't. It's been so long. I have to rewatch
What?
WandaVision. What is love
I
if
know.
not pain? No,
No,
Cam's
what
gonna
is
be so
grief?
mad. What is?
Yeah,
Yeah. What is it?
but I
What is
think
love if not grief everlasting? I
nope,
don't remember.
nope. You really
How
struggling
bad?
with this one.
We're bad
What is
fans.
grief? um,
Whatever.
I mean, that's what people are saying. The MCU, like Phase 4, like the theme for all of the things involved in it is some form of grief,
Yeah, the
which
true
fits.
villain of Phase Four was trauma.
Well, okay, yes, but also like the grief people are going through. Like
Yes,
even
absolutely.
She-Hulk touched on that a little bit. Like the grief of losing a huge part of who you were to become a superhero when you don't want to be that. And then going when I go into my next two, like losing your privacy, losing like these things, like the grief that comes after that, and losing these things, losing her job in the beginning, and then towards the end, like all of that. Is showing grief in a different way too. And then you think of Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther. Don't get me started on. If you have not seen that yet,
Yeah,
run to the movie
we're
theater.
still in spoiler territory for Black
I know,
Panther.
I know, but like it's not a spoiler to say it deals with grief. I think we all know that.
And I even
And
think with
Loki, like all
Hawkeye,
those dealt with grief. Yeah, that dealt with grief too. Think
it dealt
about
with
Black.
grief, but it also dealt with Kate's inferiority to everyone's favorite superhero is Iron Man, is Captain America, all these supernatural beings, but mine was you. Mine was you, Hawkeye, because you're the one that saved me. We had all
Yep.
these powerful beings, and you with the bow and arrow saved me. Like there's all these beautifully done things. And so that was your three. So my three, and we have Cat get really serious is a camera hog today. I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna say Emil Blonsky because
Ooh,
they're righting a lot of wrongs that is just
yeah,
happened to happen from a beginning movie stage that you weren't expecting to go that far. I don't think anyone at Iron Man was expecting we'd be doing Miss Marvel from 2011 and She-Hulk at this point. No one would be thinking that. Someone said, "Oh, we're having the second Black Panther movie. Oh, and the fourth Thor movie." Everyone would be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And Emil, I've actually never seen. I still have never seen The Incredible Hulk. I don't know if you
you're
have.
not missing anything.
I
I
know I'm
have.
not.
I watched it once. You're
But
not
they're
missing
really
anything.
fixing Emil Blonsky has become such an interesting, complex character than just another Hulk, another failed Hulk experiment. And I like how it was like, oh, Emil becomes evil at the end, and Jen's like, why? Why would we? He did
Yeah,
all that to fix himself, and in the end, they fixed it where he's still this complex character that is now affiliated with Wong. Um, I could talk a whole episode on Wong, but it's adding complexity to villains, and I think that's really what's been the best part of Phase Four. I can talk a lot about all the different things, but Phase Four has had the complex villains that probably have been missing for a long time, and complex villains that you might not agree with, but you understand.
yeah. I mean, that ties into kind of sort of one of my honorable mentions, which is like the cameos of the not main character, not Jen. Um, because She-Hulk, Jen Walter is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah,
But so like all the fun cameos, everyone who showed up like was super fun and like made it feel very sitcom like. But like it also, you're right, like added meaning to a lot of the interactions and to the character development. Do you have anything else? Because this also ties into my two.
no, you can go right into your two cameos.
Okay.
I think I know what both of our number two is right now.
My number two is the kind of, I think it was the penultimate episode. I loved the starting with Daredevil. Daredevil in the show, fully Matt Murdock, amazing. Like that whole episode was great. But I loved this shift where she was like, "Wow, it was so fun, blah blah blah," and then she's sitting on the couch and like, "You're still here. Like, why are you still here? Like, oh my god, something's gonna happen." Like just narrating kind of what I was thinking in my head. I think that was really well done. And it really took like this really fun thing and like let it move naturally into oh, something's coming. And I just loved the way it worked. And also, Jen Walters and Matt Murdock, perfect couple. Be together forever. I loved that. I loved that.
It's so hard to decide like what I like. Who do you want Daredevil to end up with in the end? Because like, yes, they're a great couple, but also Karen Page was such a great. They had such great chemistry together.
They
Deborah Ann
did.
Woll played her very well, and hopefully she's coming back. Hopefully she's coming back. But yes, my number two as well is Daredevil, because it was such a interesting way to bring him back. Like, oh, why are you bringing this serious, broody man back into literally the equivalent of an MCU sitcom? And it worked. No matter what people say, I don't care what people say. I don't care what other people think. It was the correct way to do it. And the yellow suit, you never would have thought the yellow suit would have worked. It was perfect.
Perfect.
And this is the Matt Murdock that you probably should be seeing. Netflix is known for grittying stuff. The Punisher, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Daredevil needs to have that kind of quick wit because he's kind of just like, I mean, saying street level Spider Man doesn't make sense because Spider Man is street level, but kind of just like the darker version almost of like a Spider Man esque
The
character.
Spider-Man who's like less afraid to kill somebody. I feel like it's the best way to
But
put it.
I thought Daredevil was pretty against killing also,
He is. He is against it, but
but he will.
but he will.
Yeah, and it's I they didn't butcher the character. Like, yes, there are times where the character might get butchered. This felt it was a good natural mix of the quippy lawyer and just kind of a more vocal Daredevil, which works. And
Oh yeah,
specifically in the MCU, it works.
yeah. It works really well, and I think it just sorry. She just started
We got another.
walking again.
Oh my god.
This cat really just wants all the attention today. I am so sorry if you're listening and not watching on YouTube because you're just randomly hearing me get like sigh or thing. Sirius is just walking on the table and just being a menace. But I will do my honorable mentions now, if that's
Oh
okay.
boy, go right ahead.
So I think I'll start at the beginning, timeline wise. Breaking the fourth wall, the whole show, I thought was so fun, so great. I really loved that, and it made me happy to watch all these men freak out. Watching men have hissy fits is funny, and that ties into my top one, but we'll get to that in a second. So that was one. The the post credit scene on the first episode, I love that. The Captain America.
Yeah, you
And
can't
then
say that. I'm not
yeah, I
editing
think you. I think
swears
that's why
today.
I
It's been
stopped
too long.
myself. I know. I know. And so that, and then the fact that her phone background, the rest of the show was Captain America.
Was it? I didn't notice that.
It was Captain America's butt. Yeah, the rest of the show that was her background. It was so funny. It was
Incredible.
great. I already said the fun cameos. So that was good. I love just the format of it being like a fun like sitcom basically because we really haven't had that in the MCU TV shows, right? All of them have been serious. Like even when we thought WandaVision was like a sitcom show, like it wasn't really, right? It was her having a mental breakdown. So this was the first show where it actually was a sitcom, and I think it was really fun. And I think the actors and actresses did incredible. It was so fun to watch, and it was so good. My last one is the ending of the show. Hulk's son. What? I'm excited
That
to see where they go
haircut?
with that. That haircut, bad,
Bad.
bad,
Bad. Just bad. Just
bad.
bad.
I just
They really got a bad barber on Sakaar.
they really did, and I just have questions. Questions I don't want to ask, but I've
Yeah,
been asking.
don't ask. Just let it be.
I'm gonna
Just
ask
let
them
it
out loud.
be. Yeah, my
But
honorable mentions will be Bruce Banner because it's not his show, so he doesn't get a number. Uh,
there,
the side characters were really great. Wong was a fun addition. I also, in the end, I was a little. I'll be honest, I was a little iffy on Nikki. but she really sold it in the end. Once they kind of gave her some substance, it really worked. My one honorable mention, I don't think Titania was needed. I don't
No,
get it. She was almost just like used as a social media promotion tool because that's just
yeah,
how Jamila Jamil is.
yeah.
That's
I
just
think it was.
I loved her in The Good Place, but it's just all I see is Tahani.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it also was just like a good way to like make it feel more like a. I don't know, it made it feel like more like a sitcom to me in that way because like it wasn't like this like overarching. There was this overarching evil, right? But like there was still like the like
There was a villain.
there was arcs. There was
Yeah,
arcs in this show a little bit more than you have in other Marvel shows, right? Because like
that's true.
Hawkeye, it was all one arc. Loki, it was all one arc. This is the first kind of Marvel project that has multiple stories that is being told as we go on. It's not just one story.
That's
There is
true.
more than one plot line.
That is very true. That's a good way to put it. And I liked how each episode is contained, almost contained in itself.
Yeah,
So if we
I
got to it,
agree.
we are at number one. I see you
Hey,
staring at your cat. What is
I'm
your
not staring at
number
my cat. I'm
one?
staring at my iPad. So
Oh,
like, look,
okay. There
look,
we go.
I wrote it in green pen.
Dedicated to
Got
the cause.
excited.
Dedicated to the cause. Your number one.
um, so my number one is like the very serious part of the show, right? I really love the light that this shines on slut shaming, on being a woman in a male dominated field, on navigating differences and change. I think it really highlighted all those things and how you can be super successful and winning a damn award for like being one of the best but one of the best lawyers, not the best, because for some reason they gave it out to a bunch of people, which is funny. But like that moment being hijacked and like your privacy, your consent is taken away. I think it highlights an issue that is very well known among women, and the fear that that brings and trusting someone and how people look at that. And also just like the image issues that Jen faced as well between She-Hulk and Jen, like those two personas. I think the show really opened a lot of doors for a lot of conversations for just people one on one. I know Lindsay, who's my best friend, um, one of my best friends, I'll correct myself so Cliff doesn't yell at me, who I watched the whole show with, like after episodes, we talk about it. And I think after the penultimate episode where she finally loses it, like it shows you how throughout the whole show she was fine. She was fine. She could deal with it. She could kind of make fun of herself in a way, like have the guys who rejected her or she rejected on the stand to show that she used She-Hulk first. Like all of that reached a tipping point when Josh, J names everyone, stay away from J names. But um, you always like it just really allowed conversations between people to happen that were really important. And I think slut shaming is something that professional women do deal with constantly. And dealing with being a woman in a male dominated field, like being a lawyer, is hard and is not easy. And yes, we've progressed as a society, but this show really showed in fun ways the challenges we still face. Um, and I think that was really important. And I loved the show specifically for that. And I think it was really good. But yeah, that when she lost it, I think she didn't lose it enough. I would have burned everything to the ground. And then when she like let them just arrest him, oh no, she didn't even find Josh. Oh my god, that would be dead if it was me. If that ever happened to me, I'm in jail. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm gonna die because I'm gonna kill someone. Mm-mm.
You actually brought up, I have
But
one
you can't.
more honorable mention now because of that.
Yeah,
And it's with the going back to the Kevin thing. You get to choose your own destiny. She chose her own destiny in the end. She didn't let
yes.
someone else write it for her. But my number one, and it's always my go-to cop out, but I'm going to talk about it generally in the MCU. And you can you guess what it is? You know what it is? The girl herself, Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk. Tatiana Maslany is by far, we keep saying this on the podcast, that oh my god, this is the best casting so far in the MCU, and it keeps getting better. We keep casting these characters that really that the actors almost fully personify their character, and it's weird. It adds a realness that's almost like they don't have to act, and
Yeah.
it's this very interesting thing because like Aman Vellani, if you've ever watched an interview with her, she is Kamala Khan. She
Yeah.
acts like Miss Marvel, and that she wasn't even going to go into acting. And then she said, "I have to do this casting call because this is literally me." And we're getting these characters, these actors that literally are their embodiment, and it's really interesting. Like Haley Steinfeld is Kate Bishop, and they're doing this incredible job. And it's Sarah Finn casting. She's very talented. I mean, she's hit a home run with every single Marvel movie. Um, but the way She-Hulk just kind of held it, and yes, there were CGI problems. Nothing's perfect. They're still figuring out, and I blame a lot of the issues with the Disney Plus shows. I mean, Star Wars hasn't had an issue with Disney Plus shows. Let's be honest. Marvel doesn't understand, and I think Kevin Feige needs to understand that he can't cookie cutter a TV show. Star Wars has had issues with its movies in the past. Let's be 100% honest, since Disney acquired it. I'm not going to mince words, but the one thing they have got is how to do the TV shows because they understand each TV show needs its own thing. One show can be
Basically,
done
just
in 8 episodes, and or needed 12. It just they Star Wars gets it. Kevin needs to understand that the cookie cutter doesn't work for TV.
Kevin needs to find a John and a Dave Filoni.
Yes, they do. And I think that, but that's never going to happen because they also just lost their Dave Filoni to DC. So,
Do you really think James Gunn would be qualified for the Dave Filoni? I don't think so.
no, I don't think so. But I think that he could have taken some of the burden.
Hmm.
I think
I
he would
think
have
I have.
added. He changes the cookie cutter of the
Oh,
movies. So it's interesting. And sometimes it needs to be the nobody. Like Dave Filoni was just a huge Star Wars nerd.
yeah, and that's what I think it really like Marvel really needs is like that type of person. Kind of, I honestly like. Oh my god, I'm blanking on her name.
Oh God, who?
Uh, uh. Oh my god,
What
Miss
show?
Marvel, Miss Marvel, Miss Marvel.
Amon? Or are you talking about the
Amon,
showrunner?
thank you.
Yeah, Amon Vellani.
No, I think Amon, like someone like her who's very passionate about the like Marvel universe overall, is something that like is needed, but in a way where it's also like you understand things need to be different. I don't know how
Yes.
else to better put that.
Someone that yes, and I mean that's kind of what I've been saying. You don't even need. I mean, you do and you don't. Like I believe Falcon and Winter Soldier could have done its whole story in 3 hour-long episodes, and it would have been incredible. Like there are
Listen,
all these. I know you love
listen.
Falcon and Winter
I
Soldier.
I'm controversial. That's like my favorite
I
Marvel
know.
TV show that's come out. I am aware that I just love Sam and Bucky, and I would just watch 3 hours of them sitting and staring at a wall, and it might be part of it. I just love that story. I think like to go into what you were saying. Sorry for cutting you off,
No, go right ahead.
but it I think something that they've kind of done, but not enough, is leaned into real world issues in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that hold up a mirror to what's happening in like actual world. She-Hulk did that. Falcon Winter Soldier did that. Miss Marvel did that in some ways.
Well,
Um,
Falcon and Winter Soldier would then do that even more and have a full blown pandemic.
okay, yes, but it was right after.
Kevin Feige's can see
No,
the future.
he made the right call. People were dying daily. I will stand by that. They did the right thing. But I think it like they held up a like. I think that's one of the things they've done well with. They've held up a mirror, but they haven't like leaned into it fully. She-Hulk did, Falcon Winter Soldier did, but some of the other shows where they could do it just slightly more have gotten so close and then backed off at the last moment. That's something I'd like to see in Phase 5 as we enter it. Oh my God, the holiday special. Sorry, my brain just
Yes,
works
we
like
Guardians of the Galaxy
yeah,
holiday special next
yeah.
Friday. Um, I mean, you have your controversial take on Falcon and Winter Soldier. My controversial take is Eternals is number 4, Phase 4, and people lose their minds over that one. But we did it. We did our first episode in 2 months.
Woo!
Congratulations, we did it. And now we'll be having regular scheduled episodes again. Megan, any last things to say before the sign off?
Oh, no, but I'm excited to be here and to keep talking about this stuff. I'm very excited to talk about cast. Cassie and Andor. I don't know why
I
I was
mean, it
going to
is
say his
Cassian
full
Andor.
name. It is Cassie and Andor, but I was going to say his full name instead of just Andor. Because I like every week I've been watching it, and I've just been like, oh my god, the end of this last episode, we just sat on the couch and
Don't tell
started
me. I
jawing on
have
the
not seen
floor.
it. I have been a bad
Why do you
podcast. I
say
have been a bad podcast host and have not been watching Andor, but I started binging it, and oh my god, it flows so well with each other. It's. I'm
this?
honestly kind of happy I was lazy about watching it because it flows so beautifully together.
I will
Um,
say that's Sean always my brother always waits until all of the show is out, which I don't have any delayed gratification. So I can't do that. But like he knows with his autism that it's better to wait to just be able to, watch it all the way through. And I give him credit for waiting because man,
I call
I
that
will spoil
Netflix
myself.
syndrome.
Yeah, he's always been that way though.
No, I know, but I
When he
mean,
has the
like
opportunity.
people would much rather binge it than watch week to week, and everyone knows
Yeah.
my qualms with Netflix's binge model. We're not going to get into that today. We have plenty of 2023 to do that. But
Yep.
for Megan Brown, we're signing off. You can follow us. Website's down right now, so
Oh,
ignore that one.
don't go there.
You can follow us on Twitter at Stream the Mouse. You can follow us on Instagram at Streaming with the Mouse. You can follow us on Facebook, Streaming with the Mouse. We are on every podcast platform as well as YouTube if you want to watch our faces. I understand if you don't, but
It's okay if you don't.
that's your choice.
You're missing these really nice Christmas
You do.
decorations in the kitchen.
And you get a
It's
nice
very nice.
flower background. Megan is now our social media manager, so she will be posting more with graphics and fun stuff. But
Yeah.
for Megan Brown, where can they find you? It really has been a while. Where can
Oh
they
yeah, it
find
has
you on
been a
social
while.
media?
You can find me on Instagram at _Megan_Brown 179. I did not look. No, 96. Okay,
Okay.
I'll start again. Pretend that didn't happen. You can find me on Instagram at _Megan_Brown 96, and then at Twitter, for as long as that app stays alive, you can find me at Megan2298.
You can find me on Twitter at CP Robinson81. If Twitter dies, we'll find a new way for us, everyone, to communicate with each other. For Megan
We will
Brown,
go on Tumblr. If this dies, I guarantee I will start a Tumblr for this podcast. Nothing can stop me. I am the captain now. I will do it.
my name is Colson Paul Robinson, signing off. Have a good day, everyone. We will see you next week.